सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय, महायोगी स्वामी उमानंद सरस्वती की jai. Friends, today we are going to try and understand Bhagavad Gita. Remember, in that text, God has spoken, no doubt. But God has not spoken about gods. God has told man how to be. So it's a message for man, so for mankind. So it's applicable to one and all. As we go through the chapters, you can find out yourself whether it applies or it could be applicable to your individual self or not. Because it is not talking about gods here. It is only talking about how a human should be. And I'm going to talk about it in first person in chapter 1. We have considered that first person to be Arjun. So it is, Arjun is a Pandav prince and he is there on a battlefield. And now we will just see what happens to him. See, whenever a person goes into a very worry situation, let's say what happens. For worry situation, you don't have to have a battle on a Kurukshetra field. It can be a worry situation anywhere. It can be even in the house, it can be on the streets, it can be in college premises. So, we are talking about a person being in a worry situation. So, let's see what he has to say. I met distress, said Arjun one day. I met distress, said Arjun one day, when I entered a battlefield. Now what do you expect when you are going into a battlefield? You're not going to be very happy about it. You are bound to come across negative forces more. So let's say this young man, Arjun, he's a warrior, he's a prince, and he goes on the battlefield. And what does he meet? He meets distress, unhappiness. I met distress, said Arjun one day, when I entered a battlefield. Indeed, I was worried. From within, the person also is worried. When you are going for war, you are bound to have some sort of an anger and some sort of a forceful feeling, and you will be entering. Obviously, it's not going to be a pleasant personality. If you go into temples, you will have a different situation. Or if you go into a garden, you might meet people, very little, few of them will be so aggressive. But if you go on a battlefield, you are bound to meet aggressiveness and in its personified form. And you also are going to be aggressive. So these forces are not daily required. So we have to be very careful about its... I met distress, said Arjun one day, when I entered a battlefield. Indeed, I was worried and surrounded by... Now he was surrounded by the Kaurav princes, Duryodhana and the others. And these few words here describe the situation of Duryodhana. The state of Duryodhana, the mental state of Duryodhana. Indeed, I was worried and surrounded by competition, comparison, control, and conceit. Now, friends, we have to decide whether we would like to meet all these people. If not, you should be less worried. That's what I'm trying to say. Then there came a louder cry. Now there was a worry situation, a person was angry. Now there was another situation which has come up, and where that it's a balancing factor, a force which is louder than this emotional battle. What was there in it? Which was a cry of conscious, Shankhanad, telling me and my enemy. It was for all of them, whether it was Bhishma who blew the conch, or whether it was Lord Krishna who blew Panchajanya, or whether it was Arjun. But the message was, fear if you are afraid. If you are afraid, you feel the fear, but choose to stand for right. Now there was a message which was underlining message, that try and stick to right. It's very important in life that we choose right. Even if it is wrong for others, no. What is right for you is bound to be right for the others. We have to try and find such a right which is right for even the person in front. That is actually the mortal law for which we should try and live for. So, choose to stand for right. I gathered courage, says Arjun. I gathered courage and went into the midst of the situation worry. Now he went into the midst of the situation, but unexpectedly, he was not expecting it. My eyes played tricks on my mind. Now you have gone into a situation, you have decided to go and witness the worry situation, and what happens? The eyes tend to play tricks on your mind. I saw friends instead of foe. Try and see. There could be something which can be implemented, or which can be picked up from here by all those who tend to be worried. Try and see if you can find friendship. I know it's difficult, but remember, I'm a saint. My job is to promote peace. So I will try to present it this way. Of course, it is left to all the others who wish to choose. But if between war and peace, if peace is right, we'll try and promote peace. As I said, let us select the right, and let us then wait for the results. We will not worry about it. I'm sure if you select the right is going to come up. So I saw friends instead of foes, and dropped my weapons, he said, and thrown I was into a dilemma. What is a dilemma? What was the dilemma? Should I war or let it pass by? Now, God always gives us an option. God always puts all of us into some dilemma or the other. The dilemma is right from over a cup of tea. Should I have a cup of tea or coffee? That's a dilemma. Dilemma is everywhere at every moment. Now, the entire text, do or not to do. One of Shakespeare's play also had this, do or not to do. So, the entire Bhagavad Gita starts with a message from God to mankind. It doesn't speak of God, it speaks of man. And therefore, we can consider it as a universal text. So, he says, I was thrown into a dilemma. Should I war or let it pass? Indeed, if righteousness I lose, if my choice goes wrong, what will happen at the most? What can happen at the most? Will there be an absence of righteousness alone? Is it just going to be enough that the righteousness is not there? Or will unrighteousness rise uncontrolled? Now, friends, this is the message of the first chapter. As I said, try and see. It is a message for mankind. It is not speaking of gods. Of course, I would love to um, first try and give the entire credit to God, and instead of more than the message, I would like to know Lord Krishna, because that's my job. I want to study the ultimate. That's my focus. But I want all the people to understand that the message is for mankind. And instead of just being very reserved about the contents of it, try and see if it is applicable to all of us. We are all thrown into dilemma every now and then, and we have to make a choice between do or not to do. Um, let me see how you like it. Please send me your comments, and feel free to write to me if you feel the message is not complete. As I said, I'm going to just try and see and present what is the message for man in this text. It is a message to a mankind, because we need to save that. So let's see. Let me know how you like the presentation of the first. And for people who know Hindi, I would like to present it even in Hindi. If you don't understand English much, let's see. I have said the same thing in Hindi. See if you like it. एक दिन मेरा पाला पड़ा, एक दिन मेरा पाला पड़ा अशांति से, जिस दिन मैंने कदम रखा युद्ध भूमि में। मेरे भीतर एक योद्धा था और बाहर खड़ी स्पर्धा, तुलना, जोर और स्वार्थ इकट्ठे। फिर मेरे इस अशांतता को मौन करने शंखनाद हुआ। मुझसे मेरे शत्रु से उसका एक संदेशा था। डर रहे हो तो डरते रहो, डर रहे हो तो डरते रहो, पर सच के लिए खड़े हो जाओ, पर सच के लिए खड़े हो जाओ। धीरज से मैं चल पड़ा, धीरज से मैं चल पड़ा, भीतर भूमि के योद्धा समान, भीतर युद्ध भूमि के योद्धा समान। पर मेरी आँखों ने धोखा खाया, पर मेरी आँखों ने धोखा खाया। सब मेरे साथी लगने लगे, शत्रु को मैं देख न पाया, शत्रु को मैं देख न पाया। और मन में झुंझलाहट सी थी, मन में झुंझलाहट सी थी, मैं लड़ूं या ना लड़ूं, ऐसी दुविधा में मैं पड़ गया, ऐसी दुविधा में मैं पड़ गया। Friends, try and see if the message is okay. I'm not a master in any particular thing, but as a duty of a saint to promote positivity in the world, I wish to speak of the text that I respect and revere in a positive light for the world. I'm Swami Radhikanand from Pune.